Knickerbockers take on one of the best in the West, the Denver Nuggets. And what happened? Jokic, straight out the gate. First quarter alone, 24 points, 8 for 9. They had absolutely no answer for the soon-to-be MVP Jalen. What do you think about Jokic and the Nuggets last night, making the Knicks look like a G League team?
That's what you get. That's exactly what you get. See, you worked with me on this show for years to build up the Denver Nuggets hype train before everybody jumped on the bandwagon. And we crowned our stretch mark 5 the king of Jalen Jacoby years ago. And he has not even taken home the MVP trophy. And you are already die easy? You see the Joker sitting on the throne? He barely even got the MVP trophy. And not only did you jump off the bandwagon, you adopted his teammate. So
I'm off Jokic. Jokic went mainstream. Jokic went mainstream. I always got my ear to the streets. And Campazzo is the next. My man Campazzo, if this happened earlier, he'd be challenging Ball for Rookie of the Year. I love Facundo Campazzo. Now that Jamal Murray's out, they needed someone to fill that spot. And what did they get? The 5'10 Argentinian. 16 points yesterday. 9 boards. 5'10 and got 9 boards on the New York Knicks. I love Campazzo so much. Y'all can have the MVP. You can have the stretch mark 5. You can have Jokic. He went mainstream. I'm on the Campazzo train right now.
That's why you sat up late last night and you thought you was going to watch your die easy Knicks play a great basketball game, and you look up at the end of the at the end of the first quarter, the Joker had 24. Your squad had 12.
So you know what I did? Change the channel real quick because there was a great game on League Pass between the Wizards and the Bucks. The Bucks have been in a couple serious playoff environment games, and this was one of them. Going back and forth, the Bucks look good. They didn't just get contributions from Giannis. It was also Holiday came out and performed because Middleton was not available. Big game from Holiday and Giannis, who fouled out at the end. And let's not disrespect Patty C. 2 huge threes from Pat Connaughton at the end of this one as well. Jalen, what did you think about the Bucks? And more importantly, what do you think about the Wizards as they prepare for a play-in game?
Quiet as kept, Patty C got bounced. He'll dunk on you. As you mentioned, playing without Middleton. But the thing that stood out to me the most is why you bring in Holiday. He's an upgrade defensively. He has more size and just a better player and leader than Bledsoe, but also he's a better three-point shooter. And that's where they struggle in the playoffs when teams compress the floor around Giannis. They didn't have enough shooting to spread the floor. Now that Giannis isn't settling, and I think they're used to moving him around from just the top of the floor, now putting him on the wing, putting his back to the basket and being more creative with him, now all of a sudden it has unlocked his passing ability and his opportunities to take 1 or 2 dribbles and just get to the bucket. And because of that, that's why, again, it's the regular season. But I'm enthusiastic by what I see about the Bucks.
Now, what about the Wizards?
Is this the most productive and fastest backcourt in the league right now?
Yep.
And by the way, big shout to Brody. Is he the only player in the history of the NBA? Now I'm going to slow this down for everybody.
Okay.
Russell Westbrook, the last 2 basketball games, has 40 assists and 30 rebounds.
Say it again. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
The last two NBA basketball games that Russell Westbrook has played, he has 40 assists. So that's like John Stockton.
That's 20 a game for the math out there.
And then he has 30 boards. That's like Bill Russell. Or better yet, let's combine the 2. That's like Wilt Chamberlain. As a matter of fact, nobody has done that. The triple doubles and the speed that he's playing with, and Bradley Beal still got over 40. And when you get a chance, tell me 2 people besides Bradley Beal that Russell Westbrook is getting these assists to. Talk about making people better. Okay,
I can do that. My man Garrison out there, Daniel Gafford out there, just names that you have to Google. You're like, Garrison who? Huh? Where did he play college? I love it. I love watching these Wizards, and we're going to get a chance to watch these Wizards in the play-in tournament, and I would not want to face Beal and Westbrook in that. Now, Jalen, the Atlanta Hawks are not undefeated, but after the break, you're going to tell our audience why Atlanta as a city is undefeated as the Suns fell.
Well, he's certainly out for the Clippers game, but Frank Vogel has left the door open ever so slightly for LeBron to play against the Blazers on Friday. Now, certainly that's not the expectation. Adrian Wojnarowski already reported that they are anticipating not having LeBron for this back-to-back, but Vogel said it's going to be a day-to-day evaluation after the Clippers game, see how his body is feeling, and Vogel has pushed back against the idea of it being a setback that LeBron suffered against Toronto that caused him to miss the final 6 minutes and 42 seconds. His terminology was just that they went through the evaluation and they determined that it wouldn't be worth it to play him at that point. LeBron is just trying to do everything he can to ramp up in between games since he last sat out in order to get away that sharp pain he was experiencing in his first 2 games back. If he can feel comfortable not experiencing that in these practices that he's having individually, then you could see him sooner rather than later. But as of right now, the door's still open for Friday against the Blazers.
All right, so to reiterate, out tonight, door open tomorrow, but perhaps a slight window at that point for LeBron. He's just one of several key Lakers injuries this season. We've seen it all year, McMenamin. So what's Frank Vogel saying about the challenges of having to put together the Lakers lineup when it seemingly changes night in and night out?
Well, one shuffle that he's really having to deal with is what to do at the center position. Andre Drummond was the gem of the buyout market. They got him from the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they thought they would have a guy who could replicate the space-eating and rim-protecting that Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee did for them a year ago when they won the championship. And that just hasn't been the case just yet. Now, he only had 4 points, 5 fouls, and 0 rebounds the other night when Marc Gasol came in and had a nice cameo. And this is what Frank Vogel is continuing trying to figure out. Do I go with Montrezl Harrell, who's instant energy and decent scoring off the bench? Do I go with Marc Gasol, who's a playmaker when I don't have my 2 point guards right now in LeBron James and Dennis Schroeder? Or do I go with Drummond, who we want to basically make sure he feels good and comfortable in his role because we want to re-sign him as a free agent this summer? And so there's a lot of roster math going on here, but the center position is such a key part, especially in today's game, because some teams don't even play a center. And then what do you do?
Yeah, at this point, I think for Vogel and the Lakers, just get into the playoffs, get healthy, and it'll all work out. Lakers and Clippers tip off tonight, 10 Eastern. Dave McMenamin with us on SportsCenter. Dave, thank you.
And now for the coaching perspective, NBA analyst David Fizdale is back with us. The Clippers, we have them on one hand close to being whole, and the Lakers, we just talked about it, piecing it together. I mean, Vogel is still making adjustments. There are only 7 games left in the regular season. Can you flip a switch like that? I mean, take us through all the challenges, and we haven't even mentioned, Dennis Schroeder missing time as well.
Well, I think that's the big thing is health. If they don't have health, if LeBron's not healthy, if Schroeder's not healthy, they're going to be in trouble because what I'm going to tell Coach Vogel is get your press attack ready because teams are going to pick up Caruso. They're going to pick up the young kid, Horton Tucker, and really try to put a lot of pressure on them to enter offense and to make plays. And so I'm really focused on the health of those guys, and that's what I would be preserving as we go down the stretch. Right now, seeding doesn't matter for the Lakers. The Lakers, that's not a big deal. They know if they can get healthy, the type of team they put on the floor is a championship team. And as for the big man position, I think if you could get all 3 of those bigs to understand, I'm going to use you based on the scenario, based on the situation, because you all bring different things and different strengths. If he can get them to buy into that, you really got a lot of weapons there at the center position, also understanding that you can move AD there. So I think that's where Frank Vogel is at. And like I said, that's a good problem to have when you got so much talent.
Listen, they won a championship with him. You would think that everybody would buy into what the coach wants to do. And in your opinion, you say that includes resting guys potentially in these back-to-backs. Yeah.
And all 3 bigs are new. They weren't with them.
That's right.
All 3 bigs were new, so the buy-in has to occur differently. It's not like you're asking the guys that already wanted to buy in. No. You're asking 3 new players who weren't there to all buy in and trust.
Yeah, but he's got the credibility. And you know what I thought you were throwing up when you said 3? You know what I thought you were throwing up? 3 different back-to-backs over the final 7 regular season games. That's what I thought you were throwing up. All right, Coach, always great to talk to you. Thanks.
Good to see you.
Hey, that NBA with the Lakers, this NBA with a marquee matchup. Luka and KD tonight in Big D should be special. 2 of the league's top scorers going head-to-head. This is the story of 2 teams playing much different basketball of late. The Mavs are 7-3 in their last 10, while the Nets are 5-5, including a 3-game losing streak. And 4 previous meetings between Durant and Doncic, each came away with 2 wins while posting similar numbers. But what makes this matchup different